Welcome gamers to Last Call Gaming, the weekly gaming news show that keeps you up to date on all things video games. But more importantly guys, we are giving away 2 copies of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and on today's episode we're announcing those 2 winners. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the end of the episode to see if you won. But guys, if you want to hang out, grab yourself a beer and let's talk games. Welcome gamers to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We're on episode 26. My name is Craig Prowse, and the man that always sits to my hard right is Andrew Monteman.
You ever have deja vu?
I don't know.
It's an inside joke.
I don't know. Oh, this guy. So the way he sneaks him in there. No, guys, what we want to talk about today is something you're probably seeing all over the YouTubes, as it were. Fallout 76. Fallout 76 is this game that came out by Bethesda. It's their online multiplayer game. For the uninitiated, it's an action role-playing game. It's a prequel to all the other Fallouts. It's actually developed and published all by Bethesda. But this game came out with kind of a black mark, as it were. It didn't deliver when it launched. Now,
for many different reasons.
For many different reasons. So before we get into, well, let's just get into it. So this game wants to launch with a subscription. The subscription is a $100 thing that nets you some goodies. Andrew, how do you look at this? Walk me through a little bit what we're getting for this deal.
Okay, so for $100 yearly or $12.99 a month, you can get A, private server, B, unlimited scrap box, which is a developer-made problem, which that should be something that should be unlimited in the fucking first place, but it's
Right.
just a way for them to sell you stuff. C, survival tent. So that way it's, I think that's like a save that you can put up kind of, just a little home base that you could use out in the open so you don't have to trek all the way back. 1,650 atoms. You can just use that to sell on whatever. That's per month. The iconic Ranger armor, which if it's that iconic, I played all of the Fallouts recently, so I can't think of what that looks like offhand. And some icons and emotes.
So this game came out in November 14th of 2018. It's almost been a year. So after the huge glitches and bugs and the unplayable version of it that came out, the game is finally starting to build this kind of following. These people that defend it.
It is weird to see how many people kind of stuck around in there
are still playing it, right? So you're thinking if you're even getting a subscription, that this is going to start rewarding some of those dedicated players. Now,
finally, someone's taking care of it.
Yeah, I don't know if it even feels like that. So let's get into a little bit of the history. So, because I look at it like they have 3 black eyes right now. There is the big pre-order fiasco that came out when the game launched. It was the Power Armor Special Edition. Then when you ordered it, you were supposed to get this badass canvas bag. I remember Andrew was
that actually did kind of look pretty cool.
And what was it? It was supposed to be something that resembled something in the game, right?
No, you get the canvas bag, and I think it comes with like a helmet or something, and that's what like goes in the bag. I can't remember, but all your shit is in the bag, and the bag's like a little tote thing that you carry all your shit in.
And what did they deliver? They ended up giving out some
shitty
nylon shitty bags,
fucking stretch weird bag thing that looked like shit.
And their reasoning was that they ran out of materials. I guess they didn't anticipate what they were supposed to be getting. So
I don't know how you can't anticipate something you take pre-orders for, because that's what those numbers are for, right?
Exactly for. And the way they tried to compensate it was giving you 500 Atom, and we were discussing, or you were saying that didn't even give you enough money to buy what it was in game.
So I think it came out to like $5 or something. They give you 500 Atoms, which isn't even enough to buy a canvas bag in the actual game.
Yeah, that's not a smack in the mouth. I don't know what it is, and it took them all the way to June 2019 to actually get that bag to you. So this already put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, and it definitely turned off guys like me and you from playing the game because, I mean, what was bad with this game when it launched? What did it promise? What did it underdeliver?
It was just a whole lot of jank, worse than before Bethesda jank. A lot of stuff didn't work right. There's like nothing to do in the universe. A lot of it's kind of the same. It just feels empty and bland. I've even seen videos or problems of people just there's literally someone standing waiting to kill a monster over and over to by the time you fucking get there, it's dead. So you can't harvest anything or take anything because this guy has already done it well before you got there. Or you'll start a mission and it ends instantly because someone was waiting to kill that monster.
Fuck that.
Or even there was a big thing in the game where you're supposed to fight people or go to other people. You're supposed to look for these nuclear codes. Well, the thing is they didn't change out those fucking nuclear codes fast enough at the time. So people were just instantly joining servers, pushing them and just nuking everything to where the nukes didn't even work for like a while. You couldn't do anything with that because they didn't change the code. So it was just instantly already done to where you couldn't do anything about it.
So it's hard to think that a game after a year with a huge bad start like that was able to come back and get on its feet. And surprisingly, it did. And
I wouldn't say it's on its feet for some people. I wouldn't say it's a comeback like what Final Fantasy 14
You got to remember, though, well, that's a great comeback. But Fallout 76 is still one of the best games that even sold that year. It still has like 1.4 million digital copies sold.
So sold on name alone.
Exactly. So the fan base was there if people stuck around. And it looks like enough stuck around to where it's still running around to get now this subscription, this $100 subscription that has virtually nothing in it. Do you see any value in this for the dedicated gamer that's still playing this?
Even if I play the game, I wouldn't say that there's really any value in that. But the fact that your next strike, half the shit doesn't even work.
Yeah, so this was announced that they were doing the subscription that already had heads rolling, people's turning
at the price when it should have been
crazy point.
Should have been either half price or free to anyone who had already purchased the game as a thank you for sticking around,
or $10 for anybody new to get in, because all of this stuff is essentially, cosmetics, money, emotes. What do you get out of it? You get the chest, and when it comes out, it was broken. How broken?
Well, one, the private servers aren't private. You're supposed to get your own private world, your own private lobby. Anyone could actually just join your lobby if they see you playing, especially on your friends list or anything like that, even if you don't want them to. And I don't even think you can remove them from that lobby. But not only that, you're actually not even getting into a private world that's brand new, that hasn't been untouched. Soiled. It's a world that's actually already, in some people, it's worlds that are already looted. So stuff's missing. There's clear evidence that other players have been there, killed things, taken items that were already supposed to be there.
Raised to the ground, nothing left for you to get.
That doesn't work. And not to mention you're traveling, you're doing all these things, you have all your hard-earned loot. What do you want to do with that? All that scrap?
Stash your cash.
You need a place to stash it, right? So that way, because you can't hold on to it forever, the stash doesn't fucking work. It actually just eats your loot, sends it into a black hole, gone forever. There's nothing you can do about it.
I would be furious. And where's the compensation? How do you track who lost what?
You don't.
Think about this, though.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
So, Andrew read off the list. I'm sure we had a thing that popped up so you could look at it. I looked at it at face value. There's nothing on this thing that shows that it should be worth $100 annually. I look at the $12.99 price as a decent one-time buy price for all that.
Yeah.
And free for anyone that's been on this forever. $12.99 for anybody that just wants to jump into it to start with a nice little boost. Nothing about this says pay $100 because this is all going to be long game stuff. And there's no notation that even says and more to come for the price. You know what I mean? Like, that's it.
I'll tell you what is to come is the fact that there was supposed to be a patch that was supposed to be out. It was the big patch that's supposed to add more NPCs, make the game playable, fix a lot of the broken things. That has now been pushed to an undefined date in 2020, but this money-grubbing pass still found its way out and broke the game worse.
Yeah, so now they want you to pay for this and then wait for the fixins to come? Like, where's... And we talked earlier.
We'll take your money today and give you that hamburger on Tuesday.
I'd gladly take a hamburger on Tuesday. But what blows my mind, this is not a small studio. This is a AAA Bethesda that at once upon a time was one of the juggernauts of the industry. And now all it keeps doing with shit like this, it just keeps becoming a joke.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that's the big joke.
I don't want to laugh at Bethesda.
It's almost like the Walking Dead games. Like, you know what you're going to get. When I get a Bethesda game, I know I'm going to get a game that's might be hard locking, might glitch me out of shit, I might lose something, things aren't going to work right. And that's the thing, is they've had no comparison until now. And I think now, with something like the Outer Worlds, even though it's not as big a name coming out, that game garnered a few tens. It's got really high scores. And it's a game that is free on the Game Pass day one for $9.99. That is even cheaper than your 1 month game of a game that doesn't even work.
Yeah.
So now you have a competitor of a game that's something in actually the same ballpark with kind of a similar feeling as far as the sarcasm and the way time's progressed and how these people act and society as a whole. Fills that niche that only Bethesda could fill before. Now you have someone else who's doing it and they're doing it better.
Yeah, and it just blows. Again, we're not trying to harp on anyone that's watching this that loves Fallout 76, right? Play your game, love what you want to love, but there's no world where I'm wrapping my head around this and going, oh, cool. Fallout 76 that was begging for more players launches a unheard of subscription with meaningless items and benefits to grab new players, and then day one it's completely broken and unplayable.
The game was broken when it came out. Now the season pass is broken too. So if that's any indication of like how much they care about either you as a consumer or this game,
I don't know.
They already got your money, so sorry.
Yeah, so Andrew, I'm heated on the topic. Is there anything else you want to add on to Fallout 76 before we move on?
Outer Worlds comes out today, tonight, tomorrow. Go ahead and try that if you have the Game
Depends on when
Pass.
you're watching this, but you bet that ass. It's already downloaded, and we're gonna start playing it probably maybe as soon as this is over. And don't know.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'll be spending my money on. Nothing because it's free.
So let's move on into another thing that's kind of circulating around the webs is. There's a lot of games that have just recently been put on a delay. Now, some people take that with some heat on their shoulders. Some people take that as a blessing that maybe the game's getting worked on more. So, arguably the biggest one on that play is The Last of Us 2, or Part 2, that was on PS4 that was supposed to come out on February 2020. That has been pushed back to May of 2020. So there's a 3-month gap there. And then Ubisoft
Not too bad.
Yeah, Ubisoft just announced that Watch Dogs Legion is a game that was getting released on March 6, 2020. Rainbow Six Quarantine that was supposed to be released sometime in 2020. And Gods and Monsters that was supposed to be released in February 25th, 2020. Have all been pushed back. And we'll get more into how far in a minute. Andrew, let's start with the beef on the table. Last of Us Part 2. We always look at a pushback as a general good thing. But shouldn't Naughty Dog have this under wraps by now? Shouldn't they know what they're doing?
I don't know if it's so much that, and they're the kind of people who deliver consecutively every single time. They always deliver what's considered a masterpiece, a class act, work of art, and he's a must-own. Yeah, he came out and said it. Neil Druckmann put out a tweet. We're sorry, it's not a very big delay. But you know what? Towards the end of the game, we just realized that it needs more polish. And instead of compromising our vision and being a part of patch culture where we'll put it out now, patch it later, you're just going to have to wait just a little bit longer. But you know what? The game's going to arrive, surely.
And I like the concept that he comes out and says it that way because in the quote, he even says that, this comes on the heels of us just announcing the release date. Because
that was the weirdest thing.
He just did the release date. We're like, oh, cool, it's coming that soon. And then now we have this quote of him saying it's getting pushed back. The beauty is it's only a few months.
Yeah, I mean, either way, as long as that's the reason why. Because when I hear The Last of Us being delayed, I instantly don't jump to, oh shit, development woes, or there must be some trouble over there. It's, oh no, they're probably just polishing it up and maybe getting a few, tidying up a few things.
Here's the other thing I gotta wrap my head around is and correct me if I'm wrong, this is gonna be one of the first games that are fully taking advantage of like the full the gigabyte space and on 2 discs. So they've got a lot to work with. And if they need 3 more months to get 100 gigs? Is that the storage capacity on that? To run functionally, then I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, like I said, I mean, he came out honest up front about it and just said something. I think it's a little weird that they announced it in that, because it was only like 2 weeks ago that I think that they announced it or something like that. So it was kind of weird. But then again, realistically, how many times do we come today? We came here thinking we're going to do one story, prep for one. We're doing other stories instead.
So Ubisoft had on. So before we move into Ubisoft, any last minute notes on Last?
Oh yeah, I do want to note that because I was reading another thing, and again, it's just a rumor, is that Ghost of Tsushima, which did not have a release date, and it does make sense now too, was supposed to be an earlier release game. Maybe that summer release is now going to be pushed back to maybe fall or winter to make room for this. And I mean that makes complete sense.
All out, but
so now I don't know if PlayStation has that early 2020 game, but now they have 2 big games for middle start of the year and middle end of the year.
Yeah, I mean that's it's a good way for them if you have to move some games around, keep the calendar full.
Right,
them.
yeah.
So
you don't want
they
that
were competing pretty heavy in like February, March area.
Well,
for titles anyway.
that's the thing is before, because it was coming out at the end of February. In March, you have Final Fantasy VII, you had that new Animal Crossing, you had Watch Dogs. You know, there's a few other games that were all coming out around that time frame that might not eat up that same market, but some people can only afford one game, and I don't know. You know, someone might want to spend money on Final Fantasy VII, which is only on PlayStation, and The Last of Us is only on PlayStation.
Yeah, and there's your two titles. There's your, especially if you're a youngin, when you're, in high school and you're still collecting a lot.
Right, so.
But it's, like I said, I kind of like the idea they're moving around some calendar space, especially if it's not too far back. But moving into the Ubisoft, that's a completely different game. These things we're being told that they're pushing their thing back to the fiscal 2020-21, which starts in April 20th to March 21st, where some of these games are coming out, first fucking quarter in 2020. So, Andrew, what was some of the context behind that?
Well, I want to add to this story that this was at the investment meeting, and they did come out, and I forget what his name is, representative from Ubisoft came out and said that Breakpoint is not doing well. It's not doing as good as they hoped it would. And he gave a bunch of reasons why. He said, maybe it was too close to what the last Wildlands did. And with the long tail of that last Wildlands, why buy this game when that one is still, fresh? You can still do things. There's still a lot that you can do in that world because they're still adding to that. Yeah. But maybe they also just didn't give it enough time to bake. So that's specifically more what caught me. I mean, you know what? I wish they would have given maybe a hard date or just a spring, a fall, a winter. Yeah, then that would have been better than just fiscal year of April to March. But they did come out and say, we want to make this game better. We want it to live up to our vision. We learned our lesson. It sounds like we learned our lesson. We don't want to send another game out there like that. And what they even doubled down and said, and maybe this is by either pre-order numbers or maybe just show of interest, is that Gods and Monsters game, which looks like a small, I don't want to say indie darling, but a game like Child of Light, where it's not this huge studio behind it, is good. That they're adding a lot more manpower now to that game.
So that was a game,
and that was a game that I thought looked absolutely great. I thought it reminded me.
What was it, E3? It was demoed. I remember Andrew was sitting there, he's like, man, that game looks really good. And this is a game that showed no gameplay. It just kind of had that brief up the hill, past the monster. I forget what sits at the end of the hill. I was like, really? It caught the eye.
Yeah, it definitely got me. It seemed like that, that small chance of game like what they did with Child of Light. And I absolutely love Child of Light. I think that's a game that deserved a sequel, and I wish I had some more of it. But this is them maybe taking another chance with, hey, it's not going to be a big, huge AAA. We're going to put something out there, and it's going to fill that space. And hopefully it's good. I'm hoping it's good because I thought it looked great.
I gotta ask this though. So when we get a comment from Druckmann that says this game's getting pushed back 3 months because Naughty Dog has a seal of quality that we're defined as must-own games, we're worth buying a system for, and we're only pushing it 3 months. The fact that it's maybe the terminology caught me wrong. The fact that they're moving it to the fiscal year and March 2021 could be as far back as those 3 games get pushed back. I mean, we've never seen this with like an Assassin's Creed, especially with like Odyssey and Origins that are huge games. Does it? I don't want to say rub you the wrong way. Is it maybe misinterpreted of why all these games? I get that the love may be there and maybe polish is part of the reason. But it's hard for me to wrap my head around why, if Watch Dogs Legion that was already playable, Quarantine that didn't have a hard date, but it was 2020, a year to push back versus Last of Us 3 months?
It's fine for me because I'm not dying for any of these games. There's a difference between Naughty Dog who's hammering you with who's giving you a couple of A's a year, and then you have Ubisoft that's hammering you with B's and C's all year round.
And it's just, I've always thought about this. Do you think it was always the plan, though? I mean, obviously not for Naughty Dog, right? They're a guy.
I guarantee you, if Breakpoint did well, that they would not have put anything out today. They would have been like, "Fuck it, whatever patch culture, we'll do it later."
Because here's the other thing I gotta wrap my head around. So if you guys watched the last episode or two, Andrew and I recently talked about how Wolfenstein just got Doom just got pushed back. Do you think now that they saw how well that news was kind of received, that these other companies are kind of eyeballing that and going, you know what, that wasn't a bad move, and not everybody hated it, and if we use the phrasing of, guys, the game's not done, we're not gonna be patch culture, we want to make sure it's delivered well. Do you think they're maybe riding on the coattails of that? I had to think yes.
I think that is a lot to do with it. And that's the thing, is a lot of people are going to take that as goodwill up until a game gets delayed and it comes out and it's still garbage. Because then anytime you hear that
was my next thing.
All it's going to take, all it takes is a Naughty Dog, a one person to have that goodwill that everyone else could ride that coattails. But all it takes is one person who says whatever, and the game is still dog shit, and it's still garbage. A Bethesda, and to ruin it for everybody else.
Out of the three, because I know.
So maybe that's what spoils my thing. Is right now, as I'm like, oh well, you know what? As long. They're whispering honey into my ear, so I'll take it as what it is. So.
And not enough vinegar, but we know Naughty Dog delivers. Out of the three Ubisofts, excuse me, which one do you think would have the biggest problems? My money would have to be. Wouldn't it have to be Watch Dogs Legion?
I would say Watch Dogs, just because how like
it's introducing a mechanic that we just haven't seen on a scale like that.
I hate to use the term ambitious, but of how ambitious they seem to be with that game, where you could be anybody, all these fucking people. There's so much I can see going wrong with that, or maybe not living up to that dream with how they worded it. That people would love to fucking tear that game apart. That
like a motherfucker.
That, I mean. Gods and Monsters, I don't know. Maybe that one just needed a bigger studio.
Without seeing gameplay, it's kind of hard to base what would need to be
I think
polished.
Rainbow Six Quarantine, I still play Rainbow Six Siege personally. My cousins play it. My brothers play it. I have lots of people who play that game.
If we're footnoting it, though, didn't that one kind of start off bad and then has now gained all the merits in the world?
It didn't start off bad. It started off a little bare bones.
Okay.
But with enough there to where that was considered, okay, you know what, this is what it is. It's just a rock solid game like Counter-Strike Go.
Okay.
I don't play it, but I do hear lots of people saying it's the bare bones essential for what you need for the game, with some more on there to make it function and make it perfect, that perfect repetitive gameplay.
I like that.
And now we're still here however many years later, and Rainbow Six Siege just put out their newest thing, I think like a month ago.
Yeah, and they're still running strong. So guys, unless you have anything else you want to add on delays.
No, I don't think I have anything else for that.
So jump in the comments. Let us know how you feel about Fallout 76. Let us know if you're looking at any of these delays as games as a good sign, a bad sign. Obviously, there's a difference between what a Naughty Dog's delays versus what the Ubisoft's 3 games were. That is kind of a big difference. I see it one way. How do you see it? But
it's
Andrew,
a Mario situation.
I knew I'm waiting to drop it. So guys, if we're all done, Andrew, are we ready to start riffing and raffing?
Well, actually, I had a quick question that I was just thinking about, and I want to pose it to anybody else too before we get into the riffs. Is because I was playing something the other day, and I just wanted to know, and again for anyone there, because spoil culture is a lot more prevalent now than it used to be. That when is the last time you played something without being spoiled by it? And I mean, like a big twist, like an M. Shyamalan twist that you're like, oh, fuck.
Okay, so let's put I don't know if I'll even put up the lettering, but this is a spoiler. It's like, it feels like we're going to be talking about some games.
Spoilers. And I'll lead by example, and then maybe you can go from there. So, because I finally went back, and over the past few days, I played Dead Space 3, because that was the one that I hadn't played. And it really made me think about my time with Dead Space 1 when that first came out. Because when you get to the end of that game, you're trying to save your girlfriend the whole time, you're doing all kinds of shit, you get to whatever. At the end, you realize your dude's been hallucinating from the alien marker the whole time, and your girlfriend actually killed herself. Your guy watched the video, but he couldn't cope with it. Ugh. And the marker was fucking with your head the whole time. And actually, if you take... Because I think all the chapters have a name. It's like No Mercy, whatever, in the belly of the beast. If you take the first letter of each chapter, it spells Nicole is dead. So it's like another whole nother thing.
A layer on a layer.
Yeah, so it really made me think about that yesterday. I was like, man, what's the last... And I want to say that is the last game I could really think of to where something wasn't ruined for me when I fucking barely read it online, because I got Metal Gear ruined for me when I went to fucking pick it up by GameStop from some fucking asshole who was working there.
What about the Kingdom Hearts 3 ending? That was elaborately explained.
I didn't even understand it.
That was elaborately explained over 2 hours.
So either way, I can't think of the last game that like had a big twist ending to it, or this big thing that was supposed to be a shocker, except for Dead Space 1 was the one for me.
And just catch me a little off guard here with a question. I really can't think of the last time I played a game that gave me a shocker like that, but I was recently, and I don't ever really watch games, but I was watching... I love Darksiders. I know not everyone's a fan. I don't think you're a fan. I don't think Sam's a fan. I think Gino's a fan.
Spoilers.
This is a spoiler because I haven't played number 3 yet, and it kills me. But the game's still like $60, and if number 1 and number 2 are both on the pass, right? What am I gonna do? Spend 60, and then in 6 months it's on the pass. But like, I need to know what's happening in that world. So the other week, I wasn't feeling great. I was pretty much in bed all day, and I was just like watching video game stuff, YouTube stuff, and I was like, I wonder what actually happened in that game. So I was watching it, and there's like a complete cinematic story you can watch. It's about 6 hours. That's how much time I got on my hands.
I do that from time to time.
You can watch from Darksiders 1 to 2 to 3 of the whole timeline and everything that's in there. So I know 1s, I know 2s, and I was finally getting into 3s, and I was like, okay, well, what's she doing? What's Fury up to? What's happening? Her whole goal is, to make a long story short, her goal is to go after all these deadly sins, and she has a watcher on her, just like War did in number 1. And you're talking with her all the time, and you're and you're doing it, and then she's beating the shit out of all these sins, and I'm like, okay, well, there's I don't think we've got them all. Like, maybe they don't in all the games. Maybe it's pans over. At the end of it, your watcher set up this plan to where she's actually the last sin, and she's been using you to crush all of them, to collect them all in this thing. And I was just like, oh, I did not see that coming, because you grow to like her. Because unlike Mark Hamill, who voiced the Watcher in the first one, you're like, dude, fuck that. When he dies, cool. But this bitch, you're like, oh, dude, they're like friends at this point. And then she's the sin of envy. And then you find that out, and I was just like, oh.
Well, I would still count that, because, I mean,
it was a shocker for me. No, I literally was watching it
coming. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I literally was watching it. It was like a movie. I was just like, no! I was just like, rewind it. They were still friends. So that did catch me off guard, and that would be the most recently, if I'm coming off the top of my head.
No, that's pretty cool. And again, anyone out there to you?
Oh man, yeah, sure. leave plenty of those in there, but
because I was more thinking of it too, because I actually just again, spoilers, is before I did Dead Space 3, because I've been going back and doing long backlog games, was Arkham Origins, and I already knew that the Joker was Black Mask.
I thought he didn't have a backlog.
Well, I do now, because I bought it after that episode.
Did you?
Yeah, but when I already knew that Joker was Black Mask. But that would have been fucking really cool had I not known that, and he fucking took his shit off, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Fuck, that's cool.
I really regret it, because I was like, man, I really wish I was playing Darksiders 3, because that would have been cool to experience in the game. But I watched the whole goddamn movie, and I was just like, it was like watching a movie. I was just like, oh, you're breaking my heart.
You ready for the riff shit, rap shit? Christian Patrick?
You want to start? You want me to start?
Do you even have one?
I have 2. How many do you have?
2.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, go. I said 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Alright, I go first. Alright, so, and I think this ties into your riff. I don't know if it was last week. Yeah, I think it was last week. When Mike, is it Ybarra?
Mike Ybarra.
He was leaving Microsoft, right?
Yes.
And he just announced that he's actually joining Blizzard as the executive vice president. Now, this...
What a weird time to join.
I don't know if this is damage control. Or, I mean, because why would you just better your career if you were announcing it when they're in the shambles? Or is it going, hey, guys, they do still have a little bit of decency because he's coming on, because he did some great shit over the, how many years he was there?
That's what I want to know, is why would you leave Microsoft, who's ready to put out this new console, which is nothing but big, everyone's going to be talking about it versus the PlayStation. So it's, and that's the thing, is you're coming out at this thing looking positive, all good word. It's not like the last one where you're fine to me. Yeah, you're not eating this shit sandwich when someone's like, oh, well, we got a console for you, fucking the Xbox 360 with fucking Don Matrix.
Unless he's wrapping that dick around Diablo 4, I'll be like...
So either way, for him to join that, I mean, at this time with the whole China Hong Kong thing going, that's pretty crazy.
I thought it was I wanted to kind of seal in the fate of what Andrew brought up last week for him. And again, controversy.
Hey, good luck to him.
Yeah,
good luck to him.
That was my first one.
Because he always seemed like a cool guy. I don't know.
He looked like fun on paper, but
speaking of Batman,
of cool on paper.
The one of the riffs I have is that there's a rumor that's been going around it's been on all kinds of things, it's been going, but it's just gathering more and more steam, is that the next Batman game is going to be called Arkham Legacy.
Ooh,
there's nothing about the timeline, but it is going to feature that playable Bat family.
Okay, that's what I was saying. Okay, yeah,
which in Arkham Knight you could play as like
Robin was DLC. Catwoman was kind of part of the game, but like side game.
Right, and then Dick Grayson's helping you to take down Penguin. You do Red Hood, Jason Todd's story and stuff like that too as DLC.
That wasn't DLC? Okay, it was DLC.
Yeah, that was DLC. So either way, they've already experimented with stuff like that with you playing as other people and playing was the best part of that people. Game. And so that was really cool. But also that it's going to be featuring the Court of Owls as the big nemesis, which I think would be badass. So.
Nice. If anyone's following the comic books, I believe...
and Dick Grayson,
Robin Hood. Spoilers. Dick Grayson, spoilers. I believe Robin just became the new Talon.
You mean Rick Grayson?
Yeah, Rick Grayson after his amnesia, where he forgot his name.
He forgot one letter. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it was the right letter to forget. If you're gonna change your name.
Maybe he thought it was Britt Grayson. And just took off the B.
Oh God. Or Lick Grayson. Did it have a release date at all? They
don't have anything. Honestly, I thought everyone thought that this thing was going to be showing up at the Sony State of Play. So I don't even know what the next big thing is coming up that they would. Oh, maybe the Video Game Awards.
Is it still Rocksteady doing it?
Yeah, this one is for Rocksteady.
Okay,
yes,
good.
This is Rocksteady's game, which I wouldn't have a problem with. I forget who does Arkham Origins, but I actually love that game. I liked it more than Arkham Asylum, and I think it's kind of messed up that they always refer to it as the trilogy when there is that fourth game in there, and that fourth game I think is just as good as the others.
Yeah, it is weird when they look at it like that, but when they're selling a package, they sell the trilogy of their games. I don't know what the legalities of tying in with another developer
even when they talk about it as the trilogy. The trilogy. It's even the only one that wasn't on fucking the Game Pass.
What would your rank be of? Have you played them all yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so what would your rank be of them now?
I would probably it would either be, probably Night, City, Origins, Asylum.
Yeah, see, I'd go City, Asylum, Origins, Night. So, what do you guys think? Yeah, teach your own. There's no wrong answer to that. All the Batman.
Troy Baker did phenomenal though as Joker.
Oh yeah, I don't think he missed a beat.
Yeah.
I just thought you talking about Origins.
Yeah,
I just felt Origins was a tad bit short when I was beating the game.
Oh, I liked
thinking there's another couple hours. It was wrapping up and I was like, okay. Night on the other hand, I just that Batmobile scene that I just can't get past it.
I love the length and I love the origin of Harley Quinn that they do in there.
Oh yeah, that was very nice.
That was badass.
Very nice. So my next riff is so we've been talking about a lot of PS5 rumors and what may be. So there's the Pro Gaming Shop. It's an online retailer based in Slacovia, if I'm remembering that correctly, or wrote it down correctly, that is already listing the PS5 at 499 euros, which I believe, and Connor, correct me if I'm wrong, translates into around 550 American dollars. So that's supposed to be the price point of what the PS5 is. And they stated that the release date is going to be this. It was holiday 2020, but they have a release date of December 4th.
There's no way it wouldn't be a holiday. It's going to be November, December.
But it's cool that it's early December if it is right after.
I want to say the last one was. I want to say the PlayStation came out in November and the Xbox actually came out in December. Last.
I'll take it. But $550, is that a buy?
With taxes right now, I pay $540 for anything that's $500. So what's an extra $50?
I mean, but is that a day one buy? I guess I should say.
Yeah, well, for me,
because
I'll say right now, no matter what they offer, whatever on the Xbox, whether it's got better graphics, whatever, blah blah blah, even if it's the same thing, I'm gonna buy it. I already know that I will.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and I was like, I think the most they can push, either whether it be Scarlet or the PS5, the most you would ever be able to push this thing is like 600, 650, maybe 7, because anything more is unbuyable. What are we going back to, the 90s when game machines were going that high? Any less, I don't know how they can. I mean, obviously they always take a nose on it when you sell hardware, but anything less just wouldn't make sense with what you have.
Right. I don't think it would be as big a deal if they didn't announce it so soon to whatever. If they come out at the start of next year saying, "Hey, whatever, this is the price,"
Sony,
Microsoft, or Sony.
I mean, this was just a leak.
If you come out at the start of the year, all anyone realistically has to do is save $100 per month, and by the time you're at November, that's already like do it in March, and you still have fucking $700 by the time you're there. So it doesn't even matter.
Well, let me ask this
buy that in a couple games.
Let me ask this then: if the PS5 is $550 ish. Which one costs more? Is it going to be Scarlet or is it going to be PS5?
The PS5 is $550. The Scarlet's going to be $549. Oh, $99.
Realistic though, which one do you think is going to come in over $50 of the other?
Oh, I think the Scarlet's going to be more expensive, and I don't know how.
600-ish,
and we're all going to bitch about it, and that's going to be the big story. Is Connect all over again.
Yeah, so this will be a nice story in let's say March 2020.
Hey, tune in.
Yeah,
I'll let you know.
That's my last riff.
My final riff for a game that I am excited for is that they announced that they're showing another. I wish they would have a fucking release date for this game. Is a demo for Tunic, which is that Legend of Zelda looking game, but you play as like that fox in like the green tunic. It
has like the same music, like melody kind of thing.
It has some stuff like it.
Or am I thinking of something completely
I don't
different?
think there was a chick. No,
okay.
No, you're playing as like a fox.
But I'm lost.
You're playing as a fox who wears a green tunic, kind of like Link, and it almost looks like it's playing like a Legend of Zelda game. It's got nice art style. I think it looks very good.
I like that. Who's doing
another
that
demo of it November 3rd. You know what? I would have to actually look that up because that's a game I just want to release already. Because I've
started on the corner though, November 3rd.
For gameplay.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay.
For some more gameplay.
We're gonna play that one together too.
It's one.
It'll be the second Zelda-esque game. We're supposed to.
We're supposed to.
See, we got things to do.
Shotgun Riff, Call of Duty, and Outer Worlds both come out tonight. We have our copies, so that's probably what next week's episode will be about. So hang in there.
Outer Worlds playing today. We got our copy of Call of Duty. I think that's the end of the episode. We don't have anything else to talk about, right? With Call of Duty or anything like that.
Oh, I think there's two other.
There's
people
a tournament that you. Oh, it's a tournament. It's we're drawing a win, a giveaway, as it were. So, guys, that's what you've been waiting for, and here it is. We're going to give away 2 copies of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. System of your choice. So,
and I'm gonna pick up my phone just so people can see that we're not cheating or anything.
One of my big things, guys, is me, I'm a purist. I don't like that every time we show the winner, you guys can't see who it actually is that we draw. We don't want any shenanigans. If there's someone picked. So Andrew's gonna record it as we do it, and I'll use the footage from that to live match with this. And we'll do that. So let me just announce who is actually in the running and on what episode. So we've got Brian Serafino. He got the entry for episode 20.
Show the camera.
Oh, sorry. Actually, let's just get them all, and then I'll name them off real quick so everyone can see it. Can you see all that?
Yeah, that's a good little scope. Okay,
so we got Brian Serafino, episode 20. We've got Auburn Stein for episode 21. We've got Ariel Goodkin for episode 22. Let me know if you're catching all those.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm getting them.
23 is Arturo Gardea. How do I fuck that up? I think it was in our first drawing. That's what you call a dedicated fan. And Connor, I'm sorry, bro. Heads up, spoilers, you're not in it. Mark Montemayor. If that name sounds familiar. Tony Boone. And Tashima Explode. That's episode 25. So guys, okay, hold on. Let's shake them up. I want to make sure nothing's sitting on top of the other one. All right. Holy shit. This is exactly why I wanted to do this, just so there was nothing fishy about it. Mark Montemayor, winner.
What can I say? My brother's an avid listener.
So, guys, you saw it. We're using it. That was the one that was picked. Mark, you piece of shit. You won. I love you. And now we have one more, guys. Brian Serafino.
Nice.
So Brian Serafino, episode 20. I know you watched the show. We've answered questions for you, man. I'm super glad you won. So our 2 winners, guys, are Mark and Brian. So we'll get a hold of you. We'll make sure you get the copy on the system that you want, and we'll do it from there. So you guys want to get a hold of us, I'm just going to throw the list up. Hit us up at all the social medias. You see where to snag them at. I do want to add, though, that if you are wanting to listen to just an audio version only of the podcast, you can now do that on Castbox as well as iTunes. We've officially made it to the big leagues, kid.
And again, I will always say, hit the notifications, because all the time it comes up on my phone now for all the people that I watch. Hit watch later on it, goes straight to my list. Do that for us, because we could probably get lost in the kerfluffle of a million of your videos.
I think we'll do our next week's episode, no contest attached, and then on the next episode maybe we'll announce the next one.
I'll say right now, so on this episode and next week's episode, we'd like to see lots of maybe suggestions for what it is that we should do. Of course, congratulations to the winner. If we don't have what we feel is maybe like a kind of gauged fair thing that's not for everybody, but maybe just a demand that's not there, we have some ideas for what we're going to do next, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah, so guys, make sure you watch, make sure you subscribe, because that is the only way you win. So, until next time, guys, my name is Craig Prowse. That is Mandrew Montemayor. Cheers. How'd you like your Voodoo Ranger?
That Voodoo Ranger was actually really fucking good.
Yeah, surprisingly. I was very concerned. I didn't know it was 9%.
I don't. Yeah, the 9% didn't matter. I feel like the taste was a little.
Well,
strong.
9% matters when I'm going 3-4 at a time, and I'm trying to stay coherent.
Yeah, I feel you on that. But no, I thought it was good.
Nice. So you're in charge of the next one. Better deliver.
Well, I have a nice, very good 1977 Brajolto natty ice that I can bring to the table.
Well, I'm more of a Michelob beast, but
Michelob.
Michelob beastie. That's good artwork too. Get that tattooed.
Yeah, no, I think it's very hip. That I feel like that's like very hipster.
Think? What if it's the same thing they've been using for like 20 years?
Like, where the fuck are you living that it's that cold that you're wearing that sweater
New Belgium
with a scarf and
mushroom cloud?
one of those.
Oh no, it's a skull with
one of those hats, whatever they're called. Oh, they're called a.
Oh, that's a word I should know.
God damn it! I knew the fucking word
Like
too.
Russian fucking hats.
Yeah, it's got a name though. It's not a toque. It's a. Ah man.
This is where you shine.
No, it'll hit me eventually. I'm in work mode now. You already fucked me up.
I told you. You had to take a breather. You've been working too hard all week.
Well, apparently not.